Hello, it looks like we have an El Jefe in the chat.
Yeah.
Jeff, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us for Studio 505 at KUNM 89.9 FM here in Albuquerque, Santa Fe.
Thanks for having me.
No, this is definitely an honor, and we're speaking ahead of your performance on March 14th, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at the Linsick Performing Arts Center in Santa Fe, correct?
Yep.
You've been to New Mexico multiple times throughout the years and played in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And is there any sort of emotion or feeling that the culture or the environment in the Southwest elicits when you come back?
Yeah, I love it there. My sister has lived in Arizona, which isn't exactly the same, um, for most of her or a lot of her adult life. And I spent some time. I went to school in Arizona when I was in junior high area age. So something about the Southwest in general, but more specifically, New Mexico. It's just I really love the I love the atmosphere.
Yeah, they call it the land of enchantment for a reason. And
Yeah, I, yeah, the high desert, I guess, is basically kind of what it is, really.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And, I feel that there's no better soundtrack right now than the songs that are coming off the new album, Twilight Override, the three-disc, 30-song magnum opus album that covers just so much ground. And I wanted to ask that you've been writing songs for decades now, coming up on 40 years, from Uncle Tupelo through Wilco and your solo work. And when you sit down to write today, does it feel like the same type of conversation with music in the process that you've had back then, or has that process changed over time?
Well, I mean, I think the core part of it is it's the same since when I was a little kid. I think the part of me that I've attempted to nurture and build my craft around is the I think the child the child attitude towards making stuff up, and imagination that like has no boundaries and has a feeling of wonder about the world and curiosity and little risk of failure, because I mean that's where I think you need to be as an artist to create and be a little bit hopefully fearless about what you're willing to uncover. And um, so yeah, I think that part is the same and is how it has to be the same and has always been the same. But the part that I feel like has changed a lot over the years is, I've gotten better at my instrument. I've gotten better there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm better at, and I've worked to get better at.
Well, and your music often moves between experimentation and extremely personal storytelling. When something new starts to form, what usually comes first to you these days? Is it the emotional side of the song, or is it the sound and the musical world that you want to build around it? Or does that vary from song to song?
I think it varies from song to song. I think you know, I, uh, when I come up with a musical idea that I like, I document it, and I don't judge too much about why I like it. I just I'll just be playing the guitar and I'll come up with something that I find interesting and excites me enough to record it and document it. And then writing is just a habit in general. It's just kind of a daily habit. So um there's not a lot of evaluation that goes along with that if it's just a daily kind of activity. What it allows me to do, I think, is go back and listen to lots of stuff like the way that you would, or somebody else would, with a certain amount of objectivity. And because I forget most of the stuff I write, and then I can when I re-encounter it, it's um, hopefully it's surprising, and I don't remember sometimes I document things and I go like, I don't have any idea what I was thinking. This is so boring. This is so silly. Sometimes I like, uh, I get a sense of recognition of what I might have been thinking. And then the best stuff is when I have no idea. I have no idea where that came from, because that means I was kind of doing it right at the moment.
Yeah, totally. And the process for you now over time and having a life throughout your career has now shifted and evolved as well. And this new album, Twilight Override, you even bring in your sons to guest with you on some of the songs and to write some of the music. Is that right?
I didn't really write much of the music, but yeah, they're collaborators. They're on the whole album. Yeah, Spencer has been playing drums on my solo records for pretty much since the beginning of me making solo records, and he played on a Mavis Staples record before that, and a Pops Staples record that we finished for Mavis. So he's been kind of a partner for a while. Sammy most recently started singing with us live, and on this record he started finding a way into these types of songs with his more synthesis. His expertise is synthesis and modular synthesis. So it was kind of interesting that he made really beautiful choices to integrate that into these songs.
Yeah, and with the collaborations that you've had, you had mentioned Mavis Staples, and I did want to ask, that's such an amazing collaboration to have with such a legendary artist. And how did that come about?
um, well, my memory of it is what it's been a while now, but I think it's almost 15 years ago, maybe a little more. I kind of always describe it as a blind date. I think that we were both kind of uh, manipulated a little bit by our management at the time, because I was told that Mavis wanted to talk to me about working on some songs with her, and Mavis was told that I want to talk to her about working on some songs together. But neither one of those things was exactly true. I think our managers had talked to each other about us working on something together.
Well, and you also, aside from your musical career and the work that you've done with the bands and as a solo artist, you also produce artists. And is there anything now that you're working on production wise, or anything recently that you've completed that we would be able to look out for on that side?
Uh, yeah, there's a new Cut Worms record coming out soon that I produced and played on. Um, I don't know exactly when. I think it's soon. Maybe it's even this Friday. Maybe it's tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe you can look. I should know that, but anyway, I'm sorry. Cut Worms. That's Max Clark's band or name that he makes records under. Other than that, it's just been a really busy time working on my own music, and you know uh, getting a Twilight Override out, and then working on new material for the next Wilco record. And
Definitely. And you have toured all over the world, but every place has its own atmosphere. And your shows specifically tend to feel really communal, almost like the audience becomes part of the music. After all these years on the road, what still excites you about stepping on stage and sharing that moment night after night?
um, I don't know. I love it more than I ever have. It feels like I need it more than I ever have, and it feels like the audience needs it more than they've ever needed it. Um, and I'm not sure. I can guess at a lot of reasons why that would be post pandemic, and very divided time in our country with very little. Uh, we're not good at having community. We're like this. The internet has succeeded in doing something that it was designed not to do. you know, and our was like sold as a a bridge between the distance and this, and I'm sure that there's some of that still exists where people find each other and have community online, but it's proven to be a little bit better at division and conformity. So yeah, I think rock concerts are a rare other space for people to be in with other people outside of a church or a sporting venue. And it really does feel good.
Yeah, I would give an amen to that. I think that's right on it. It really is almost like the fellowship of the secular, if you will, you know.
Well, it's spiritual too, though. I think that there's a spiritual element to it, and that, like without it being denominational or having a dogmatic belief system, um, it's I believe in it. I believe in. I would call it rock and roll because I have no other real name for it, but I believe in it. I believe that at its core, I believe it's good to sing together and sing for people, sing with people. I think when someone's in an audience with other people, even if they're not singing along, it's like you know, they're sharing in that kind of that energy.
100%. And speaking of that type of energy in that environment, recently, ahead of the untimely passing of Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, you had an opportunity to collaborate with him on some shows with Wilco. And how was that? And did you find more of that, an amplification of that type of feeling, bringing in that sort of Grateful Dead spirit into what you guys were doing?
Yeah, it was called Philco.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. It was Nels and I, and we played a like one-off show for a festival in Chicago, and um, yeah. I mean, I've experienced it a little bit from the sidelines. I've seen bands that are more immersed in that world from the side of the stage, and just kind of marveled at what a different experience it is, even than the community that is around Wilco. It's yeah, it's a crazy thing that the Dead built and uh, facilitated. Maybe they didn't just build it.
Yeah, yeah. Something too big to be torn down.
Yeah.
And
Well, those people have to go somewhere.
yeah, yeah, totally. A lot of artists struggle with longevity, talking about the Dead, talking about groups like that. Your work keeps evolving. And what is it that you've learned about staying curious creatively over the long haul?
Oh, I think I mean that's like the main job, I think, is to um refuel and be open to inspiration from anywhere. But in particular, I do the things that I've always done that seem to generate some sense in me that I need to respond, and that's other people's music, other pieces of art, books in particular. I think I can't read for too long without wanting to answer it and put it down and make something of my own. I seem to like really respond to that challenge when I'm confronted with something that I want to know what it feels like to write that or make that. And that's the little kid in me too. I think that's how I experienced records early on.
Many of your songs capture fleeting emotional moments that most of us struggle to articulate. Do you feel like songwriting has helped you understand those moments in your own life?
Um, that's a good question. Maybe in some cases, but I think that what it ends up being more than that would be it's naming something that doesn't have a name, and it's harder to talk about if it doesn't have a name. So I think that's maybe I've made some things easier to talk about for myself.
Definitely. Jeff, I want to thank you so much. We're looking forward to the show Saturday, March 14th at the Lindsay Performing Arts Center, 7:30 p.m. Twilight Override is the new triple album, 30 songs. More information online about that, and we will get that to you. Jeff, I thank you again. We can't wait for the show. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks. Talk soon.
Bye.